They were up by 27 points. None of that mattered. It's playoff time at home. I bet everything I had on them. 27-0. Tom Brady. Who would have took a bet versus Tom Brady first round of playoffs? And it cost me everything I had. In my heart, can't take it anymore. They were up by 27. I didn't even finish the game. I made a play. And the next day, I wake up, I check the ESPN app, and who won? Damn Trevor Lawrence. And I like him. Do you know that he hasn't lost a game on a Saturday in his career? I was bragging at Ironhead's house. Well, this is the year. He's going down tonight. Captain Kirk, I've been beating the table about this guy all year. Do you know how many messages, texts, calls, DMs on the various platforms I got because the Minnesota Vikings lost? I wake up, I see viral videos of him hanging out at the Waffle House. I'm like, why are they following this guy? Where's Josh Herbert? And you know what happened? L. Crazy. I mean, Danny Dimes was on fire. I said that they would have a chance if Saquon Barkley, Danny Dimes could get something going in the run game. You know what he proceeded to do? I think he threw for 350 yards is what he did. And he ran all over. They didn't have an answer. Have you ever showed up to a test unprepared? Have you? Do you know what that's like? Well, Kirk Cousins does because he did it on damn Sunday. And he ruined my parlays. Now I have to sit around for an entire offseason. Everybody says he does. He's not good. He's a bust. This is what I get. Welcome back. Yeah, I know y'all was praying on my downfall. Unfortunately, I went 3-3, but technically, from what I've been told, that's not a loss. But in my mind, and the way I operate, if you aren't the clear-cut winner, then you're a loser. It's the divisional round, superstar selections. Let's go. Game number 1 on the slate. We got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, last week, I was on the record saying that I expected the LA Chargers to finally get over their playoff lows and knock off the Jacksonville Jaguars down in Florida. However, Trevor Lawrence has something else to say. After the Chargers jumped out to a 27-0 start, they could only muster up a field goal while Jacksonville scored 31 points to end the game with a game-winning field goal and advance to the next round. On the other side of the matchup, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, who had the week off. They've been resting, and a lot of people have them as the Super Bowl favorite. Now, this game is in Kansas City. This game does feature Patrick Mahomes, and this will be a tough test for the Jacksonville Jaguars. In the end, I think that the Kansas City Chiefs have too much firepower on offense. I think the week off will have helped them, and I also think schematically, Andy Reid is going to have the advantage. Push your chips to the middle of the table. Take Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the Kansas City Chiefs to advance to the next round. Game number 2 on the slate. We got the New York Giants versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, before we get started, I got to issue an apology to my guy, Coach Freeman, and also the homie, Jay Clark. I had Kirk Cousins penciled in for a surefire win, even though I did think the game would be competitive. In the end, Minnesota's defense didn't show up, and Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley showed out, leading the Giants to a W. However, this week, we have the division rivalry, and we have the Giants versus the Eagles. Now, last week, Jalen Hurts was able to get a week off. I think that's going to help. I think when these two teams match up against one another with what they put on film versus the Minnesota Vikings and the two matchups from the season, I think that the Eagles are on a trip for destiny. I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to take this L. I think he's going to do a good job of coming out, commanding the offense. I think they'll be rolling with the pass. I think they'll be rolling with the run. And I think that the deciding factor won't even be A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. I think this defense shows up and shuts down the Giants' plan of attack. I imagine a lot of points for the Eagles and not enough points for the Giants. In the end, give me the player that should have been the NFL MVP, Jalen Hurts, to get the W. Game number 3 on the slate and the game of the week. We got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Buffalo Bills. Now, last week, both teams did what I expected them to do, although Buffalo seemed a little inconsistent with the way that they were playing against the Miami Dolphins, and Cincinnati went out and had a hard-fought W versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, these two teams match up, and it's always fireworks when they play. Now, normally, because of the matchup, I would tell you to look out for what Joe Burrow does, also look out for what Josh Allen does. However, it's supposed to be filthy weather. The last time I checked, potential thunderstorms, and I think that rain will change this game completely. And by completely, I mean I think that both teams will have to rely on their defense and their rushing attack. Now, saying that, you would think that I would put my chips on Cincinnati to get the upset W. However, although Buffalo has had struggles establishing the run, lately James Cook has been making plays and Devin Singletary has been giving us just enough. And also they have the aid of Josh Allen runs. I say all that to say, I believe in the end, Buffalo's defense will show out. The weather will play a factor. Josh Allen will have over 15 rushes, and the Buffalo Bills will get the W to advance to the next round. Last but not least, we got game number 4 on the slate, and the game that a lot of people are saying should be the game of the week. But I totally disagree. We got the Dallas Cowboys squaring off against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I am on record betting and putting my chips on Tom Brady to get the upset W last week, and I couldn't have been more wrong. Dak Prescott showed up. He showed out. I was thoroughly impressed with the offensive game plan from Kellen Moore, and that defense is super aggressive and did what I kind of expect them to do week in and week out. They got back to their winning ways, even though they struggled versus the Washington Commanders the week before, but this team looks like a playoff contender. And I'm here to tell the Dallas Cowboy fans and Cowboy Nation that none of that matters in this matchup, because on the other side of the matchup, I got the Brock Purdy-led San Francisco 49ers. Now, anybody that has seen me talk ball knows that I have a high respect for the IQ and play calling of Kyle Shanahan. But I can also tell you that I hold DeMeco Ryans, the defensive coordinator, in high regards as well. I think both units show up and understand the challenge that is the Cowboys, and they rise to the occasion. Now, on ESPN all week, they said that they think that it's going to come down to both defenses are going to make plays. It's going to be a defensive game, and ultimately this is going to be Dak Prescott versus Brock Purdy. And for that, I'm taking Dak Prescott. Not so fast. I do agree that I do believe that it will be Dak Prescott versus Brock Purdy. But the San Francisco 49ers defense is elite. And it is not going to look anything like the depleted Tampa Bay Bucks defense that they faced off against last week. I think the front seven is going to stop the run. I think the back end is going to do a great job in pass coverage. I think Dak Prescott is going to turn the ball over. And I think in the end, we will see Brock Purdy handing the ball off to Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell, and even Deebo Samuels to ice the game in similar fashion to San Fran knocking these guys off a year ago. So, I say all that to say, Cowboy Nation, it's been real, but Brock Purdy, it's time. Divisional round, Kansas City, Jacksonville. Kansas City 33, Jacksonville Jaguars 20. New York G-Men versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly 29, Giants 19, and not enough. Cincinnati versus Buffalo. Give me Josh Allen 50-yard rush to put them up 25-22 over the Bengals. Last but not least, Dallas Cowboys 22, San Fran, Brock Purdy, Kyle Shanahan, DeMeco Ryans 27. And these are your superstar selections.